Have you ever felt like your mind just won't stay quiet? You sit down to work, but your thoughts drift away thinking about unpaid bills, the deadlines piling up, or that argument you had yesterday. Then the worry creeps in. What if I fail again tomorrow? And suddenly, the work right in front of you becomes a mess, slipping out of your hands. Today's story will take you to a small pottery studio in America, where a young man learned the most important lesson of his life, a lesson about peace and the power of mindfulness. Let's listen to the story. The Potter and the Vase, a lesson on peace and mindfulness. Long ago, in a quiet town by a wide river, there lived a young man named Ethan. Ethan worked as an apprentice in a small pottery studio, learning from one of the most respected masters in the community. He was talented, but his mind was always restless. Every morning, before the sun had fully risen, Ethan sat at the pottery wheel. But his hands trembled, not from fatigue, but from a mind that never stopped spinning. He thought constantly about his past mistakes and worried about failures that hadn't even happened yet. Because of this, his vases and bowls often came out crooked, cracked, or collapsed. The harder he tried, the more frustrated he became. One late afternoon, as golden light streamed through the dusty windows, his elderly teacher with silver hair quietly walked over. After watching for a while, the master finally said, "Come with me. Today, I'll teach you the most important lesson of your life." He led Ethan out of the studio, across the bustling town square. The air was filled with the smell of fresh bread, the chatter of neighbors, and the sound of a street musician's guitar. Finally, they stopped at a small shop where the teacher purchased a beautifully crafted clay jug, decorated with delicate hand-painted patterns. Handing it to Ethan, the master said, "Your task is simple. Carry this jug full of water all the way to the eastern dock and bring it back. But remember, not a single drop must spill. If it does, start over." Ethan was puzzled, but he held the jug carefully and began walking. The streets were busier than he expected. Children ran past him. Merchants pushed their carts. Dogs barked loudly. Each step was a challenge. Ethan kept his eyes fixed on the shimmering water inside the jug, breathing slowly, moving as if walking a tightrope. When he finally returned, sweat ran down his forehead, but not a single drop had spilled. "Master, I did it!" Ethan sighed in relief. The old man smiled. "Tell me, while you were walking, did you notice the music in the square? Or the smell of fresh bread?" Ethan shook his head. "No, I only focused on the jug." The teacher nodded gently. "That is exactly what you must learn. Our mind is like this jug of water. When it's filled with worries of the past and fears of the future, we easily lose our peace. But when you give your full attention to the present moment, distractions disappear." Ethan's eyes lit up. He realized that peace doesn't come from escaping the noise of life. It comes from choosing where to place your focus. From that day on, Ethan returned to the pottery wheel with a new mindset. He took a deep breath, felt the soft clay beneath his fingers, and listened to the steady rhythm of the wheel. He no longer thought about yesterday's mistakes or feared tomorrow's failures. He was simply present. Slowly, his work transformed. His vases became smooth, balanced, and strong. Years later, Ethan became a renowned craftsman. But he never forgot the wisdom his teacher gave him that day by the river. To create something lasting on the outside, you must first find stillness on the inside. Ethan came to understand that. Peace does not come from running away from the noise of life, but from choosing where to place your attention. Like you and me, everyone faces stress and worries. But if we learn to pause, breathe, and live fully in the present moment, we will discover a hidden strength that carries us through any storm. Perhaps in each of our lives, that jug of water is our work, our family, or the small everyday moments. If we can hold it carefully, with focus and gratitude, we are already living a meaningful life. If this story touched your heart, please hit like to spread the message of peace. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you do to keep your mind calm? And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories every week. Because sometimes just one small story can change an entire life.